We're gonna move on to DJ Dave Darko's pick, which is called The Breed. Came out, I believe, in 2001. But we'll see. Was it? Yeah,
Now, I
2001.
have to give a preference. My original movie that I wanted to do was Donnie Darko.
Hmm.
But once Barney told me it was critically acclaimed,
Yeah, it's not underrated.
but when you ask a lot of people who like Donnie Darko, they haven't seen it. So I'm like, oh my god, I didn't think a lot of people caught on to it. But
Look,
we'll go with The Breed. I'm a big
look.
vampire fan.
We gotta remember we're getting old, Uncle David. I ask these people today, have you ever seen Indiana Jones? And they look at me like I'm crazy, like they had never heard of it. So I'm like,
I almost had to slap a kid today because he just said he didn't know who Outcast was.
you see what I'm saying? So you gotta remember we're getting old. So this is what it is. Yeah. But
That's rough.
but I'm gonna read the summary real quick. It says Steve Grant, Boke, our friend, what they call him, evil. What's the comedian? Evil Dave Chappelle. That's how his face looks when Dave Chappelle would be evil looking. All right, so Steve Grant, Bokeem Woodbine, is a human detective living in a world where vampires have been trying to integrate themselves into society. As he investigates a series of brutal murders, Grant is paired with Aaron Gray, Adrian Paul of Highlander fame, I believe he played in the Highlander series, a vampire police officer. During the case, which tests vampire-human relationships, Grant reluctantly befriends Gray and falls for the glamorous and fanged Lucy Westerna, played by Bai Ling. Even with the aid of Gray and Lucy, can Grant catch the killer? Alright, so we're going to move on to the clip that Uncle Dave picked. Now, I'm going to have to do some special things for this clip.
Well, oh, here comes the Panther. This was lovely.
Because one, it is like...
Do you remember that?
Oh, no, it's only 2 minutes long. Okay, so we can play
We
it.
have an outtake of the Panther actually attacking Bai Ling. Luckily, the Panther had no teeth.
Right, no teeth and no fangs, but still, that thing is powerful. I mean, you're sitting in
let me set this up for the audience. Now, this clip was chosen by DJ Dave, but this movie... you can't find a lot on it, so there's not a lot of clips on it. This was a clip he liked, but unfortunately it was a clip from the the director's commentary. So you guys tell me, do you guys want me to mute the commentary and we just watch the clip silently, or you want me to leave the commentary on?
Mute the commentary. Let people go see the movie, or they can watch the commentary. We can talk of it. I mean, because you're not going to see any good acting.
Okay, I'll let it play a little bit without the audio.
Bitter, I remember, it was in the third shot. The first shot, actually, it was really funny because...
All right, so basically, I'll give you the basic story here. So, they're coming here to get information about these murders that have been going on, because this rogue vampire has been murdering human beings. And the gist of it is that vampires have made themselves known to human beings because they've created this synthetic thing they can use so they don't have to drink humans' blood. And the leader of the vampires essentially wants cohesion between humans and vampires. And they can't do that with this vampire killer who disagrees with him running around. So they go to Bai Ling, and she's supposed to be like this ethereal type of vampiress. And Bokeem Woodbine automatically distrusts all of them because one of his partner was killed by the same vampire that they're after. Now, not much else goes on here, guys. They're just talking. I thought it was good. Let's at least watch it to kind of set the mood. You know how things like. In fact, it's almost over. We can watch the rest of it. The evil Dave Chappelle.
Evil Dave Chappelle.
Well, he is in the new Wu-Tang series. So.
He was good in Fargo. That's probably one of his best performances, I think. All his other performances is kind of.
He was good in Dead President.
I can't remember that, but I gotta watch that again.
He's the preacher who
I saw a clip of that. He was terrible. He was awful in that.
Wasn't he in the Crow too?
Yeah,
I think so. He was also in Riddick.
He can't get right. Just can't get right from life.
Life, yeah.
But anyway, that's basically you can kind of see the basic tone of the movie. Next, I'm going to read the critical reception. Now, this movie, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just not that popular or it didn't really make much of an impact. But I couldn't find any consensus on the critical review. There are reviews, but there's no consensus. Not even on Wikipedia. Not even on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'll be honest with Uncle Dave, I never even heard this movie until you told me about it. It was filmed in Budapest somewhere. I don't think it was like a big budget type of thing.
Oh, wow.
But
the background vampires are real.
The what?
Background vampires, the extras on the scene, they're real vampires.
Oh, because in Budapest.
In Budapest.
But so this is the closest thing I could find. There's no tomato meter score because critics haven't really reviewed it other than 3. But it has a 32%, so it's rated pretty lowly. You know, it's pretty low. So in Uncle Dave's eyes, he considers it underrated, and it does have a low rating. And we're going to discuss it, starting with you, DJ Dave. Give us your overall thoughts and your bulb rating.
Okay. Now, first off, I'm not saying this is a 4 or a 5 bulb movie, right? The best I've seen it get was 2. It should at least be on a 5, scale of 5 to 2.5. It should at least be at halfway. They didn't get the budget I don't think they needed, but as far as the way they made it look and the shocks and the shots and the mystery that they built up, especially using like Bai Ling, it was just tremendous when I saw it because, like, you saw the Panther scene. You have this small, tiny woman beside this dangerous animal, right? And it just screams that she's that powerful, being a vampire, because in the real world, you know, the Panther would have ate her to pieces. And when you watch that director's cut, they actually talked. They said that the Panther, even though it had the teeth removed, it bit Bai Ling for real twice. But she still was able to sit there and make a pose or whatever, and go through it into shot. You know, I like the way that they It's like it has. You don't know exactly what time period it is. It could have been long ago. It could have been like a dystopian future. It just kind of took its own direction with it. You know, I wish they had a larger budget. If they did, and the special effects would have been better, I would have given it a 4 or 5. But it's at least a half 3. 3 on the scale, 2.5 on the scale from 1 to 5. It should at least be half.
So you think it's average? You think it's at least average? You think it's because right now it's related below average, so you think it should at least be an average?
It at least should be average.
Okay, I got you. All right. So you want to add anything else?
I'm good.
Okay, let's move on to Johnny Mozzarella. John, did you get a chance to watch this?
Yes.
Here we go. Did you see it from beginning to end?
Hey, John, the lowest rating actually is not a half bulb. The lowest rating is dung, heap of mediocrity. I just want to let you know.
No, I don't think it was that bad. I think after watching it, I had to look it up. I had to look it up because it reeked of like severely low budget. So, and sometimes there's only but so much you can do with a very low budget movie. And I think the budget was only like around $4 million to me. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I know I'm not supposed to judge it, but I mean, you know, if you're handcuffed, you're handcuffed. So there's only so much you can do. I think the special effects was really bad, and sometimes it took away from. I actually don't think the plot of the movie actually isn't bad. It's a good plot. It wasn't done well, and I think a lot of that had to do with I think they probably spent too much money on the special effects, and they probably should have went more with like maybe a drama. They should have dealt.
Do you think the story was done well or the plot was done well? Because the story is why something happens. The plot is what happens, like how it translates.
What happens? Yeah, like I didn't actually have a problem with that.
I thought the plot was terrible. Story I thought was interesting. Conceptually,
maybe I'm confusing the two. I don't know. I thought no, it's the plot, right? The plot is like
the plot. Yeah, the plot is how things play out, like the actual actions that take place, and that was awesome.
Okay, no, my bad. Then yes, I have it. Okay, yes, that was bad. That was bad. Like the overall direction and how they did the movie was bad. The story I thought was I thought it was a good story. Like I thought it could have been a good story. If they would have had more money and probably a better director. Because some of the shots I didn't think actually were that bad. The acting was bad. I didn't really care a lot for the acting. Some of it, I didn't really like the girl. She was kind of annoying.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's Bai Ling.
I don't know. Yeah, I know, and it's funny because I think she was in The Crow too.
She was,
but I don't know. I just didn't. She was in The Crow,
I think she was in The Crow.
She looked like she was the girl from The Crow. I don't know, but I don't know. I just didn't really care for her. I didn't care for her acting. Like it seemed too. It seemed like a prop. She had like the big thing, and she's like, I don't know. She was just like, I was like, okay.
That's not acting.
But like I said, huh?
So the props aren't acting.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's just the way that she was. Just I don't know. I didn't care for it. It turned me off. But I actually thought the story wasn't bad. It was just very low budget, so they didn't really have a whole lot of money to do what they probably wanted to do. So for me, I give it a 1 bulb. Yeah.
All right, well,
it's a 1 bulb.
Let's move on to
Sorry, Dave.
move on to Nintendo 83.
It was rough, man. It was rough getting through it.
So what did you think?
I'll be honest. There's only one reason why I really watched this movie, because I thought Adrian Paul what was his name? Adrian Paul, right? I thought that was what's the other guy? The guy who played King Arthur.
Clive Owen?
Clive Owen, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Clive Owen at first. I'm like,
that looks nothing like Clive Owen.
I was about to say,
not like Clive Owen at all.
Just looking at the box, I thought it was Clive Owen at first. And then I was like, this movie is trash. This movie is garbage. If I did not have to watch this for work purposes, I would not watch this. And then I remember I did watch this movie. It was one of those late night movies where there's nothing else on TV. And it's just
what is Bai Ling?
Who else? This movie is terrible.
So are you done? Are you done with Nintendo 83?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
It was so bad, you just couldn't stop watching it. It's so bad.
It did kind of have that feel. Like I will say this: we enjoyed watching it and laughing at it. Like that's good. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man!
It's like those movies that came on that what was it? That space. That's what is it? Space mystery science.
It's Mystery Science Theater 2000.
Yeah, Mystery. I mean, hey.
That's it. Oh man. I'm like, this is one of those movies where you just gotta keep on pressing the up button on the controller to see how much more is left in the movie. The best part of this movie was the credits.
The credits. All right, let's move on to Pink 81. Give us your overall thoughts and your rating.
Mr. Nice Guy.
Oh, okay. Well, first off, am I coming through okay?
No, you got your mic is muted.
Oh. All right, how about now?
Yeah, you're good.
There you are.
Okay, cool. All right. Y'all know me. I'm a nice guy.
That's like slap your face.
Well, I mean, it's just this is like one of those movies where it's like on TBS. I'm probably hating myself right there. Like TBS late at night. You just wake up and something is on, and it's like it's interesting, and I want it to be interesting. I mean, it is interesting, but it's like it's. I mean, it just looks interesting, but it's not. I'm sorry, Uncle Dave, but I must say, I must say, having fallen asleep and stuff on it. So I mean, I didn't get the full thing of it. It was, I don't know, it just gave me that TBS late at night vibes. But I mean, I do like the concept of it. I do like the mystery. Like try to ask what they're trying to go about with it and all, but I'm just sad to say that I'm hearing that basically this panther had to lose his teeth. For this?
Well, it was what they. Oh, I see what you're saying.
I mean, in a way, that's kind of like animal cruelty.
Well, they didn't want to bite people.
But did the people want to be in this type of movie? I mean, come on. I mean, it's got to be some better reason just to take his teeth out just to be in the movie.
So what's your final rating?
Just because they had to take the panther's teeth out, man, I got to go to 1.5, man. I feel bad, man. It's like I like the concept. It's interesting, but it's just... I don't know.
Leave the panther's old, man. That false teeth anyway.
David.
Yeah.
This movie's so bad they didn't even want to rate it.
You got to take a bite out of it.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up with my. All right.
Here we go.
All right. Okay, guys.
Come on, I gotta use the bathroom. I'm gonna be there for 2 hours.
No. I'm gonna make this somewhat short. I will say this. I think the one good thing about this movie, I think, is that it has some decent cinematography. You could tell it was clearly inspired by The Matrix. I mean, they were trying hard to get that Matrix look. And to some extent, they succeeded. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think that's the one redeeming quality to this movie. I will say, when it comes to the acting, I actually kind of disagree with Johnny Mozzarella. I would say that the one person who kind of stood out to me as far as the acting was Bai Ling's Westerna character. I thought some of her lines, particularly at the end, I found convincing. It's everybody else that I was just like, okay, this is just not good. And I'm not even saying her lines were particularly well written, but I believed her when she was saying them. I didn't believe anybody else. I didn't believe Bokeem Woodbine. I didn't believe Adrian Paul. I didn't believe like the main vampire guy that turned out to be the actual bad guy at the end, who was supposed, he turned out to be the killer. He was horrible. And there were certain scenes, right? They were trying to copy off The Matrix, like when Adrian Paul, the vampire guy with the Hitler mustache, he's like jumping around and stuff. It looked awful. It looked awful. There was this one scene where you see this one vampire. He just like spins around and they do the after image effect.
Oh,
it was just totally. You didn't need it. It was just like they just did it because they could do it. You know that. That's why they did it.
I'm telling you, we had a good laugh.
DJ Dave, you like this movie, and this is why I say you have horrible taste. You like this movie only because of Bai Ling. That's it. That's it. You like Bai Ling. You think she's attractive, and she has a bony ass, by the way. That's the other thing. She ain't got no ass.
Come on, man. I'm a huge vampire movie fan, so I've seen almost every vampire movie made. As part of my collection, I just every movie.
I am a huge Kung Fu fan. That doesn't mean I like every Kung Fu movie. Okay, look, man.
This movie is so bad. They're confused on the box art. Look at the faces.
especially Bokeem Woodbine. But
man.
I will say,
why the hell are we here?
The other thing that I think this movie, another one of the major flaws of this movie, it didn't know what it wanted to be. You know, at first it's a noir. You don't know which time period it is. And then actually they do tell you what time period it is, Uncle David, because the white vampire guy, his family died in World War II. Yeah. That's by the Nazis. So you know this is later. This must be later on. In one scene, it looks like it's a what's that movie called? That was the Matrix. What's it called? Dark City. It has a Dark City feel. Another scene, it has a Matrix feel. Another scene, it looks like it might be modern times. Another scene, it looks like it might be in the freaking 50s. It's all over. It's all over the place. All right.
Yeah.
It's all over the
place. Well, it gives off a futurism feel.
Yeah.
But
It's not.
They did want to have like that noir because they're driving around in really old cars. So it's just like, well, hold on.
But John, that's the thing. The movie that did that the best was The
going on?
Matrix. The Matrix and Dark City. This movie was, you could tell the person.
Yeah, but the Matrix during the Matrix, that was like the whole point. They said it in 1999. Like the Matrix itself.
But you still got a noir feel to it, though. You see what I'm saying? Without having to make callbacks to the 50s, is what I'm saying. You still got that noir.
Well, what I mean is all the scenes that you see in the Matrix, it looked like 1999. The city, the cars.
You don't understand what I'm saying. You don't understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this movie tried to get the noir feel by making it look like it had 50s aesthetics.
Right.
But at the same time, try to make it modern and have other modern things. Whereas the Matrix, it's modern, but they still achieve the noir feel. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I got you.
You can tell the person who made this movie, he just had all these ideas, and there was nobody there, like a producer, to say, "Hey, look, you trying to do too much. You're just trying to do too much." You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know. But I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna give my final rating. Uncle Dave, this came real close, real close to being in that dung heap of mediocrity. It really, I mean,
give me one, Bob.
No, this gets half a Bob.
Oh!
This gets half a Bob.
Hey, at least the light's still on. At least the light's still on.
This movie is terrible.
You messed up my podcast.
I was just saying, it's a terrible movie. This movie, I can't even say that's properly rated because it has a low rating. This movie is actually, it's too high. That's how bad this movie is, Uncle Dave. It's just not good. It's not a good movie. All right. It has some redeeming qualities, but those qualities aren't nowhere near enough to make up for its lacking. You know what I'm saying? This is a horrible movie. This is not an underrated movie. This is properly rated. This is horrible. 32% tomato. It probably should be lower than that because this is too much.
Man.
It's just too much. That's wrong with it. I'm sorry. And that's how you get about like you take this one thing like Bai Ling, you're like, okay, I like this, and therefore I like the movie. Like, no, that's not how it works. She's not enough to save it, and she has a bony ass, by the way. But I'm guessing. No, I'm not guessing. It actually is a bad movie, but you know, I'm making fun of DJ Dave. In fact, if Donnie Darko was underrated, that would have been a much better pick. But it's not. It's critically acclaimed. You know what I'm saying? But this movie, I think that's why it's so forgettable. I think that's why people don't know about it. It's why no one has rated it. You know, it just doesn't. It's a Matrix carbon copy that just does not reach nowhere near the same height. It's not even as good as. I haven't even seen the fourth Matrix movie, and I'm sure that movie's better than this movie.
Not by much.
Not by much.
What? The fourth Matrix is far superior to this. Are you serious?
I didn't even watch the fourth Matrix. Yeah,
I watched it, and I'm telling you, it's far superior to this.
All right, guys. All right.
Far superior.
I'm not gonna say anything. I can't make you all see.
I will say, no movie so far on our list had actually was in the dung heap of mediocrity. I will say that. Even The Breed. Now, technically, you could say
even Event Horizon.
Oh no, Event Horizon destroys this.
Time
in almost every
thing in the bathtub.
In almost every way imaginable, it destroys this movie. You know what I'm saying? But
only thing that has destroyed is a better budget. That's the only thing they got. More money.
We're
not getting that because we'll have to end this soon, man.
I mean, the budget does have a lot to do with the success of a film, but there's certain things like writing, acting, those.
And we can get rid of Bokeem Woodbine.
He's horrible.
Yeah,
I know.
Well, that's my thing. No, I didn't care for. I mean, y'all like Bai Ling, but I think she was bad too. I think all of them were bad.
I think she was the best.
I think all of them were bad. Like no.
It looks like she has the Trinity outfit just over her head.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap. This was our.
It's okay. It's okay, man.
My nunchucks at.
All right, guys. So we're gonna wrap this up. These were some of our favorite underrated movies, and we're gonna let the audience decide on whether they are really truly underrated movies or whether they should remain
Comments down below.
the dung heap of mediocrity.
Lucent Troupe Studio.